The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to this webinar and thank you very much for attending. My name is Michael Evangelista and I will be your moderator for today. Just a few reminders that you are in listen-only mode to avoid unnecessary background noise. However, you can type in your questions in the chat box anytime you want, and those questions will be answered by our panelists in a Q&A segment. The recording and certificate will be set out in 2 days' time. By the way, our topic for today is about functionality and demo of the Megger MFT, and it will be presented by Paul Knapp, the Global Sales Manager for Baker and Industrial segment. So without any further ado, let me give you to Paul. Paul?
Thank you, Michael. Welcome everybody to this webinar. The webinar is going to be on the functionality and the fundamentals of multifunction testers, in particular the Megger MFT. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Paul Knapp. I've been involved with electrical instrumentation all my working career. I've been fortunate enough to work in many different areas of industry. Everything from power stations to mining to paper mills to food and beverage to oil and gas. So I've been lucky enough to have a good experience in lots of different applications of industry and mechanical as well as electrical. However, today we're going to be focusing on the multifunction tester. So just to give you a little bit of a overview, the multifunction tester is something that Megger introduced all the way back in 1923. As you can see from the presentation, Megger was in those days called AVO, which is amps, volts, ohms, of course. But gradually over a period of time and right the way up until 1999, they changed their business name to Megger. But as you can see, Megger is the home of insulation resistance testing and multifunctional test equipment. When I was an apprentice and a very young man, when I first got introduced to electrical testing, the two instruments that I was actually given in the industry I was in was a AVO, which is a multimeter testing, but back then we called it an AVO, and a Megger, which was an insulation resistance tester. So with those two instruments, I used to go fault finding out in the field. So that is just my own experience. You know, now 2 years ago I became part of the Megger network, but prior to that I had the greatest respect for Megger and AVO, if you like, instruments. They were the stalwart, and even though the brand names are also become very well known, and they've even taken over the insulation resistor test. I remember my own experience that my boss used to say to me, make sure you Megger that, even though it was an insulation resistance test. Same with the AVO and the multimeter. So, this is something that I'm very proud of, now being part of Megger. And as you can see, it's brought historically right the way back from over 100 years ago. This was when they were first invented and were part of this business. So that's quite a legacy, I believe. But moving forward, just a little bit about how we're going to work today. We're going to play a video which is going to go through the demonstration of the MFT instrument. Also, on this page, you can see that there's a catalogue there. If you look at the handouts in the panel of this webinar, you'll see that there's a catalogue there, and any information that you would like about Megger products, including the MFTs, are in that catalogue. So please download that and save that. Secondly, Michael Evangelista is our apps engineer for Asia, and he and I will be answering questions at the end of this presentation if you have any. So without talking too much anymore, and I'll switch my camera off right now so I don't spoil your viewing, and I'll start the video. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Austin, and today we're going to run through a full product demonstration on the MFT 1835 multifunction tester from Megger. Just like many other Megger products, the MFT 1800 series is category 4 safety rated and has a bulletproof input protection system. So even mid-test, if you apply voltages, it will not damage the instrument. We have a large dual function display, so when carrying out continuity testing, for example, the test current can be displayed at the same time as the resistance result. It has left and right-handed operation on all models, making it easier to use, and the MFT is also extremely tough, and it's IP54 rated as well. The MFT 1835 incorporates all the items you'd require on an installation tester, plus more. It really is a comprehensive bit of kit. We have a basic insulation continuity tester with 100 to 1000 volt range. We have a 2-wire non-trip loop impedance test and also a traditional high current test. We've then got an RCD tester which incorporates the facility of a ramp test. We've also got a fully functional earth electrode tester within this instrument with the capability of carrying out a 2 or 3-wire earth spike or ground resistance test, including a stakeless earth testing method using an additional clamp, which will also enable earth leakage currents to be read. For 3-phase installations, we also have the capability to check phase sequence. The MFT 1835 is fully rechargeable and has the facility to store results internally and then Bluetooth them to a PC or other mobile device. The unit also has full true RMS measurement for voltage and current. What I'll do now is run through a full product demonstration. First we're going to look at voltage and frequency measurement. So we turn the unit on, and on the back we select our phase and neutral inputs. And when I apply a voltage, we see it indicated on the main display with the frequency shown above. Now, if we were carrying out phase rotation, we'd be using 3 leads and they'd be attached to the 3 phases accordingly. Next we'll do continuity measurement. So we select our continuity range. The next thing we have to do is null out our lead set using the non-hinged part of the clip. Once we've got a stable reading, we press the test button and the indication shows that lead null is now in place. If you wanted to simply check continuity on a cable, you can turn the buzzer on and off again just by pressing the button. What we'll do now is apply a known value of resistance. So the buzzer is turned off, and we get a reading here of 0.56 of an ohm. Okay, let's now look at insulation testing. With this model we've got 100, 250, 500 and 1 kilovolts. So let's select the 500 volt insulation range, and then we press the button and take a reading. As you can see, we've now got greater than 999 megohms and an applied voltage of 552 volts. So now let's take this time to take the opportunity to show you the input protection. If we'd mistakenly attached to a live supply, see what happens. Let's put a live supply on here. There we go. And immediately it shows us 237 volts and 50 cycles. And this protection also applies if you're midway through a test. So go back to our insulation test. We've got our reading on the display, 999 megohms, 552 volts, and then we bring the supply voltage across the line. You'll see we get an audible and visual indication, and the tester is swapped to a display of the connected mains voltage and frequency. Moving on, we'll now look at the 2-wire no-trip loop testing. We select the phase earth LPE setting on the left-hand range knob. This is a low current test, so RCDs will not operate with this test. We're going to apply a green and red lead, and then when the mains voltage is turned on, you'll see the measurement being taken. This unit will also operate on 110 volt as well as on 3-phase systems, so you can actually measure a prospective short circuit current between phases. So the test has just finished, and we can see the reading of 1.16 of an ohm, and on the upper scale on the display, it's indicating the prospective fault current of 198 amps. We'll now go through the 2-wire high current loop impedance test. So selecting the phase neutral LN setting on the left-hand dial. This is a 2-wire test, but you do need to swap the line and neutral connections at the back of the tester and connect the line and neutral to the supply. Once connected, the mains voltage is displayed and the test starts automatically. We've got a reading here of 1.41 ohms and a prospective fault current of 163 amps. Now, this test can be undertaken with a supply lead which can be plugged into any socket outlet you wish to obtain a loop impedance value. When it comes to RCD testing, the MFT 1835 will test types A, AC and S or time-delayed RCDs, and also DC-sensitive RCDs such as type B, which are used in some solar PV applications. We have the facility to test manually, so we can do the times half, times 1 and times 5 tests. And we can also do tests at twice the rated current, as well as variable settings for testing RCDs which have adjustable ratings. For fault investigation where there's nuisance tripping, the tester also has a ramp test, which can find the actual tripping point of an RCD. We can also switch between 0 and 180 degrees. Finally, if you're working alone, you can use the auto test feature to undertake the tests on the RCD. All you have to do is stand by the RCD and reset it as needed, and then when the test is finished, just look through the results. For this demonstration, we plug the unit into a 30 milliamp RCD. We've selected 30 milliamps on the range knob and selected auto test. When the test button is pressed, the auto test sequence will commence, which is half I, so half the rated value of the breaker, where we shouldn't see it trip, times 1 at both 0 and 180 degrees, times 2 at 0 and 180 degrees, and times 5 at 0 and 180 degrees. So when we start the test, the unit will very quickly display times half, where we shouldn't see it trip. So let's press the button. That's what it's doing now. Then it goes straight into times 1 at 0 degrees and the RCD is operated. Reset the RCD and we have times 1 at 180 degrees. Reset again, we have 0 at twice times and 180 degrees at twice, and the same for 5. Once we reset the RCD for the final time, we get an indication on the screen that the test has ended. And now, pressing our button here, we can cycle back through and look at the results. So we have our half the rated value, but we shouldn't see the trip, and you can see it's timed out greater than 2 seconds. Then we go on to times 1 at 0 degrees, times 1 at 180 degrees, times 2 at 0, and times 2 at 180, and times 5 at 0, and times 5 at 180. The MFT 1835 has the facility of current measurement, so using the optional Megger eye clamp, this gives us a range of 0.5 milliamps to 200 amps, and with the resolution down to 0.1 of a milliamp, it can be used for earth leakage measurements. The last test we're going to look at is the earth electrode resistance test. The MFT 1835 is capable of 2-pole, 3-pole and 3-pole with attached rod technique or selective testing, and stateless earth spike resistance test capability. Now we're going to do a test on a simulated earth electrode. So we select earth electrode RE and also in this case the 3P position. Then we press the test button to begin. Now the unit will also monitor to make sure that our current and potential spikes are not too high a resistance. And as you can see, we've got our resistance displayed of 3.22 ohms. That concludes our product demonstration today. The MFT 1835 is built in our factory in Dover and comes with a lifetime technical support and a standard 3-year warranty. If you require any further information, you can contact our sales office on +44 1304 502 101 or the technical support group on +44 1304 502 102. Alternatively, you can contact your local Megger reseller, who you can find on our website www.megger.com, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter or YouTube. Thank you for watching.
Okay, well, as you saw, that was a brief run through of the capabilities of our MFT tester. I hope that you found all of that very educational and interesting. It's a very brief explanation, but I would like to point out that there is, maybe I can show you, if I go to my screen now and look at this particular page, and this is simply Megger World. So if you go to YouTube and simply type in Megger World, go to the video tab as we have here, and as you can see, this we have literally hundreds, I would say, of videos that specialize in not just about product sales, not just about Megger historically and so on, but really quite educational stuff about individual tests and individual should we say ways of testing and looking at different aspects and different ways of different applications maybe for those tests.
Excuse me, Paul. Are you showing some presentation?
Sorry. Thank you, Michael. Sorry, guys. When the video ended, I didn't switch over to my screen. So let me start again. So if you wish to look at any of the videos that we've shown in the past, and even this one, you can simply just go into the YouTube website and type in Megger World, and under the videos tab, as you can see here, there are literally hundreds of different types of videos on all of the different products. But it's not just about the video, it's not just about the product and sales of those products. It also goes into a little bit of educational information that you can learn if you're intending on doing any particular tests. One of the things that I'm close to is motor testing, and we have many videos that are really aimed just at the educational side of motor testing. And in other areas of Megger, such as transformer testing and insulation resistance, general electric testing, we have lots of information on this site that will help you and to learn as well as to train even people that are new into your businesses. So I really would recommend that if you get the opportunity to explore some of this library of videos that are free on YouTube, then please take the time to do that. I've found it personally very useful in my time. So, like I said, I hope that you enjoyed the video and it was educational. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask the questions. We have the handout, and like I said, if you go to the handout tab, you would be able to see that we have a catalogue there that's designed specifically for Asia. It incorporates all of the products that we believe would suit the industrial market that we have in the region. We do have many other products that aren't in that list that you would be able to find on our website, as in the presentation. Just a simple www.megger.com will take you right to that page. But let's go ahead now with any questions that you have, and hopefully Neil, Michael will be able to help you. Do we have any questions, Michael?
As of the moment, sir, we don't have any question. Maybe we can give at least 1 minute or 2 minutes for them to type in.
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
yeah, there's a comment from me. The MFT is really, I like this device very well because, for example, if I am a owner of a condominium and I have a maintenance people, I would rather, ask them to buy this kind of tester because it includes everything I need. I have the insulation tester, I have the loop impedance tester, which means if I don't know how to rate my breaker correctly, if I don't know how to buy the breaker, the right rating for my breaker, then I need to do this loop impedance test. And that equipment will really give me the actual fault current that I have in my circuit. So I can decide easily what will be the rating of my circuit breaker. And also I have the grounding tester. Then I can check very well if my grounding is really good or enough to handle such fault current. And I also have this insulation tester. So up to 1 kV, that's enough for a for a building or for a industrial facility. I really like this one. And also, if I have a 3-phase load and I'm not sure of my phase rotation, then I can also check it with this MFT device. I really can recommend this to industrial company. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you have any questions in later, maybe next month, you can still send us an email and we will try to answer it through email. Okay, and for those who are leaving, please don't forget to answer the survey and fill out, and that will really help us improving our future webinars. And hope to see you again in our future webinars. We still have a lot until December, so please stay tuned. So I guess, Paul, we don't have questions.
Okay, well, thanks,
we
Michael.
can conclude this webinar.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody. This was a short one this week. The video is quite distinct, quick, and informative. We do, like I said, in the webinars, sorry, in the Megger video selection that we have here, some of the videos go into much more depth. Some of the videos would be long, some of them would be short. We tried to keep them as short and informative as possible to make it easier to understand. But personally, I've always found that I'm not one for reading too many manuals, but these videos really do give us a good oversight. So, like I said, if you need any information on any of the products that you see in this library, please contact me on Michael or